welcome back to Buckle Up Garage. I appreciate you tuning in. We're here in my home base, which is just my residential garage. I've got a project going on that's you're going to find elsewhere in a series of videos. Long story short, I've got to pull the gas tank down out of my Aspen to replace the fuel pump, and because I know the tank has probably got better than a quarter, but not quite half a tank of fuel in it, and siphoning is kind of a pain in the butt. In fact, I wrecked the rollover valve or the kickback valve or whatever on my filler neck trying to do it. So I'm going to be replacing the filler neck along with the fuel pump. I was looking for a way to get the tank out of it, drop the tank out of it, being a one-man show, as safely as possible. And obviously the go-to is going to be the floor jack, but I was hoping to find some way to kind of secure the tank to the floor jack, so it comes down without becoming a big mess or getting hurt. So I decided to take a cruise over to Harbor Freight, see what I could find. And while I wasn't looking to replace my jack, because it does function like it's supposed to, I ended up kind of getting a combination of things, because I think this is going to come in really useful. And so now I got an extra jack in this attachment, because why not? Two jacks, and it's gonna come in handy somewhere down the line. So let me turn the camera around here and let you take a look. I'll crack this open and we'll see how this works. Okay, so there is my current jack. It works just fine. It's kind of a generic 3-tonner. But when I was wandering around at Harbor Freight, and I do have their membership card, so you kind of discounts on things. This jack was actually on sale. It was normally like 150 or 160 bucks, and it was marked down to 120. And with the membership discount, I think I got it down to like 100 bucks, close to 100 bucks. So how can you go wrong? But this is what I found to kind of take the problem away that I was having, that I was thinking I was going to have. And this, and I've kind of seen these before, and that's kind of what I thought I was going to pick up. It's basically like a crossbar that attaches to the Daytona jack, and the arms on either end, kind of swing out or slide out, make it longer, shorter. I think that's probably going to work pretty good for getting the tank out, because I can probably ratchet strap the tank to that and drop it down without worrying about the thing getting away from me. And it's probably going to come in really handy for what I think it's originally designed for, which is jacking your car up from the side and spreading the load out along the pinch welds on the bottom. So I think in the end it's probably going to be a pretty useful thing, and it's probably going to work pretty good for what I'm trying to do today. This was, I believe, $65. So in the end, I got a new jack and this attachment for under 200 bucks, which I think is kind of a screaming deal. I would expect to pay that much just for a decent jack. So let me get set up here. We'll crack this open and take a look at it and see what y'all think. All right, so the first part we are going to take a look at is the actual Daytona 2-ton cross beam attachment. This is the part that I believe is going to make life a lot easier getting this fuel tank out, and probably a few things down the road. Let's crack this open and see exactly what this is all about first. On the box itself, they do show it, kind of being used to lift the car, spread the load out. It says lift the entire side, front or rear of the vehicle. They talk about the adjustments. The arms slide in and out. It adjusts from 28 inches to 37 inches wide, and it does have the lift plates on it. Much like if you've ever worked with a rack in a shop, the pads usually are threaded, so you can raise them up or lower them down to kind of compensate for differences in the frame height, things like that. So it says get additional lift height with the adjustable lifting plates. It says it's got a 4,000 pound maximum lift capacity, and we talk about the adjustment for 28 to 37 inches wide. It's a 4 3/4 inch by 4 3/4 inch lifting plates. Also adjust for additional lift height. Heavy duty welded steel construction. Can't imagine what else they'd make it out of other than steel. And it also comes with 9 1/4 inch safety chains. I think that's to make sure that the arms don't kick so far out that they fall out. So let's pop this out of the box once and see what she looks like. Here's what we got. Cross beam. It's got a hole through the center of it and a threaded pin. This is going to take the place of the pad, the traditional pad, on the floor jack. And from what you can see here, here's what they talk about. There's that adapter thingy. These slide in and out. Safety chain to keep them from going too far on either side. First thing I'm going to say is, and I got these things lubed up a little bit too, so they might have wanted to have added a way to lock these in place. Just kind of like on the arms of your cherry picker, your engine hoist. There's usually like threaded, like 3/4 inch bolts. So when you kind of extend or stretch or widen whatever adjustments you got on it, you got a place to lock them down so they don't slide around. I don't know if it's going to make that much or that big of a deal, but I think maybe in the future I might make that kind of a little modification on this thing, just to make it a little bit, more safe. But yeah, there it is, and it's pretty heavy. Significant weight to it. As you can see, these thread up or down. And that one all the way down. This one all the way up. So you get like a step in your frame if you're jacking up on the frame, or maybe this is on the pumpkin and this is on the axle tube or what have you, whatever your situation is. So that is that. I'm going to get the new floor jack out of the box, and we will take a look at that and how this attaches to it and how we can use this thing. So let's get that out of the box. Alright, so the new jack comes with its instructions. It's a floor jack. I can't imagine this thing operating any different than any other floor jack any of us have ever had. So, but we will save that just in case. First thing we're looking at is the handle, 2-piece. And it is actually got the little spring-loaded release button deal. Sure how I feel about that. I think I'd rather that be a little bit more permanent. I can't imagine. I suppose if you're storing it, it'd be nice to actually be able to slide this down to half the length. But I think in the day-to-day you know, cranking this thing tight and loosening it up. You know, that's the point of contact there. So again, I might make a change on that somewhere down the line, because I don't see myself. I mean, I can't say as I pulled my jack handles apart much in the past. And then we got the floor jack itself. It is as heavy as a floor jack should probably be. They do have a little safety stop in here for packaging. Just be careful when you pull that out. Don't just pull it out, because it's gonna, you know, the handle's gonna snap up, and I'd hate for anybody to get their fingers in there. And it's pretty straightforward. This straps in like they always do, and you've got the nut here at the bottom that you then back out, drop it all the way in, tighten the bolt back in, and now the handle is locked in there. Back it back out, and you can pull the handle back out. It's got that little recess in the handle, and that's where the bolt goes in to grab onto it. So drop this back in here. And shut the valve. Counterclockwise, opens the valve, drops it. Clockwise, all the way, and now it lifts. Now, for all intents and purposes of what we bought this thing for, I believe this pad has got to come out of here somehow. Okay, maybe we are going to figure out if that's just got to be popped out. Hang tight. Maybe I do need the instructions after all. Let's take a look at the instructions for the beam first. This show how it attaches to the jack, not how the jack comes apart to make it possible to put the beam on. We'll rip through here pretty fast and find out about the saddle. Alright, looks like the pad has just got to come off. I probably need to pry it off a screwdriver or something. Let me just grab one here real quick and see what that does. There we go. And just we thought there's some adhesive in here. So we'll resecure that if we need to down the line. So right here is the nut holding the saddle down, which is going to get replaced with the beam and the lockdown bolt, whatever you want to call it, that holds the saddle, holds the beam down in place of where the saddle was. Let's give that a shot. It is a hex head, so take a look and see what I got here, what's going to fit. Alright, it is a T55 for those that want to know. That agreeable. Holy cow. Alright, we might need to set up the impact. I'm going to put you on hold for a second. Alright, so I was going to try and make this easy on myself. Fired up the compressor, and I was going to use an impact gun to zip this this bolt out. And I realized I do not have Torx bits the right size for either of my impacts. So I had to kind of go old school on it, and the first thing I used out of this new jack was top half of the handle to use as essentially a breaker bar to crack this loose. And it was secure, very secure. So we'll zip this out real quick. And we will try the new beam out. Make sure you do not lose this or the saddle, because I'm going to guess more often than not you're going to be using this, just like a traditional jack, and you just want this to be able to be pulled out, put the beam on when you want to use it. But I just want to see how this thing goes together here while we're playing with it today. So I'll put that out to the side, and where did I set the beam? Hang tight. Alright, so we got the beam. Just knock the bolts out of it. There's a sleeve in here when you pull this out. Be careful you don't lose it. That sleeve's over the bolt, and I believe that's what helps give it a place to pivot on so that arm can move around and things like that. So let's grab it in here. And like I said before, the arms are greased, so it's a little gooey and slimy, but just when you pick it up, finding that if you grab it by the ends, you got a better chance of it not getting away from you. So sit her in place. Just run this down in here. And there's the torch speaker right here. Sucks getting old, set things down and you lose them right in front of you. I'm not going to drive this thing all the way home because I don't want to end up fighting it again. And as you can see, it now can go just about any direction you want it to. You should really move the camera out, like fall off to one side. So from the get-go, I am not a professional. So here's essentially what you end up with. So these all adjust up and down, wherever your different situation is. They do adjust out. I mean, it's not a huge range, but I can see where this is coming really, really handy. So, let me just grab the camera. I'll give you a little closer look at this setup. All right, so there you have it. Let's move this garbage out of the way. The Daytona 3-ton low-profile jack with the arm attachment to spread the load out, lift the car from the side. In my case, I am going to use it to try and make life easier getting a gas tank out of a vehicle. So hope this helps out anybody that was maybe thinking about buying one of these things, and see what it actually is and how it works and all that good stuff. So I appreciate you tuning in. Again, hit the subscribe button, leave me some comments, ding the bell for notifications. All of it helps me out here at Buckle Up Garage. Gets the channel out there, maybe get some views for me, and I can continue doing this kind of thing. So until the next episode, later.